Hodgie, have you got a quick answer? Oscar has just asked the question. Take you back to Karapiro in 2010. I wonder if it was an amazing race, that you and the Kiwi pairs, the closest you ever finished to them. And he wanted to know what's going through your head. Have you got a quick answer for that one?
Quick answer. We're gonna bloody do it. No. Again, like we got to Karapiro, we had to more or less kind of rewrite Harry Road to cope with the water. It brought out new skills, new confidence, new abilities in us both. What went through my head? I wish I could sprint like we were back in Beijing 2008. That's what I was. Yeah, no, it was another stepping stone on the way to discovering something. And you literally cannot leave any stone unturned. And they from being, we had a couple of feet on them into the last 250. I think that's the only time anyone's ever done that. Just say that. Yeah. But they and they pulled it out in the last bit. I'm absolutely sure there was absolutely no beneficial effect of the stage on the land, on the stand being on their side and maybe going to that slightly earlier. Nothing of that. But no, it was an awesome race. It was a great one to be part of, and we achieved our best that day, and I'm still really proud of that. And all credit to them for beating us. It was a fantastic event to be part of.
So Hodgie, new Olympiad. You were in the 8 in 2013. You beat the Germans in this magical 4. You were stroked of that 4 in 2014 with yourself, George Nash, and Mo Speehy and Alex Gregors. And then that year where your body didn't work for you. So take us through that in about 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Yeah, in a little time we got. That was again another voyage of discovery. It's when you're forced to not enjoy the thing you do, you discover new depths, and you discover new ways to get out of those depths. It took me a while to understand that I wasn't going to be racing that year, and while kind of weeks turned into months, certainly kind of frustrations and anger and all sorts of probably negative emotions came out, and the only way I could tackle that was just to throw it all in the bin, really, and say, right, okay, well look, Rio's not going to happen, let's get realistic about this, and I'll go and find a job. So started working with Melanie Chowns at the EIS, who's absolutely brilliant. She helped me get my CV in order. She started to connect with people. I started to sort of understand the world of work, actually how big a journey it is. To have had the continued support from British Rowing through that journey for that year was really crucial. But it enabled me to sort of understand myself in a completely different light. And it also enabled me to understand that actually there is a life after rowing, and actually I could be part of something positive after I quit. So I finally kind of got through till about, it was sort of Henley actually, which was the spark in me, which said, okay, well, look, I've got one chance to kind of get back. And if I do, then great. If I don't, then I've done all this work, which I can then go back to. So I just started doing a few bike rides, just 20 minutes, just see how my body was going to react. It was all fine. So then I went onto the ergo, started doing 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, just gently easing my way back, UT2. That was fine. Then a few more pieces. And then, always sort of talking with Jürgen about it. Then eventually we said, okay, well, let's get back to Caversham and see how you get on. And it was just every session I sort of got back. We sort of had a nice trajectory back into the sort of scores and the performance I needed to be doing in training. But every day was a moment of, okay, so when's it going to break? When is all this going to come tumbling down and I'm back to what I was doing before? And just thankfully, I was able to maintain an improving trajectory all the way through to Rio. And finishing in that 8, having been through, being isolated away from the team, coming back into the team as a junior, all the guys in the 8, they were the previous world champions. I was nobody. I was weak physically. Experience of an 8 was less than theirs. I was the guest in that crew. I was the junior. I was the novice guy. So then being part of that crew and re-understanding my role and actually discovering again then what I could bring to that crew was as good as experience as being in the pair with Pete, or driving towards Beijing for the first time, or being part of the boat race crew, or even getting into rowing in the first place and enjoying it for fun and going out for beers and pizzas afterwards. That experience kind of was another major redefining moment in my career. And I finished Rio understanding a completely new athlete in me.
Yeah,
highly motivated within a band of blokes who had shown me something new to the sport, and it was absolutely incredible to be able to finish on that note, within that energy. And it's that Rio race was absolutely incredible. It's one of the finest races I've been part of.
How come that season so up and down for that 8? Because I remember seeing you at some of the regattas and the boat wasn't firing. I remember, the first day at Poznan and Jürgen's like this on the bank talking to you, and giving it some. What was it about that crew? Because you wouldn't have predicted that result. I know you had a fantastic race in the final. You wouldn't have predicted that result. What happened to it?
Just our plan, Crossy. We wanted to keep you guys going. No, it wasn't. It was, in my mind, I'm sure the guys would probably disagree with me, but for the first few regattas, was it Rendsburg? What was the middle one? Not Munich. Or was it Lucerne?
Yeah.
And then the first race in Poznan, we've been doing this incredible stuff in training. Like the speeds coming out of us on those training camps and at Caversham were just, bang on gold medal stuff. It was punchy, it was aggressive, it was fluid, it was easy, it was sustainable. It really was. It just felt like a bullet train. Nothing was going to stop us. And then we got to the racing, and we were developed our race plan and our race attitude and all these sort of things, and we were just slow. And I think the turning moment in Poznan, I remember sitting down in the hotel, and we kind of worked out. We struggled to get the rate in the racing to where we wanted it to be of our best bits in training. So I remember we were sort of having the chat through with Jürgen and Christian, and we're like, well, let's just do what we do in training. When we go out to do 34, we know we can produce the speed we want. So let's just do it. Let's cut away every component of the race, forget about the race, forget about our opponents, and just think we're back at Caversham and we're going to do 34 like we do at training.
Yeah.
Punchy, powerful, together, that sort of that just do that. And then we did that for the final, and for the first time, rating 34. We were 2-3 pips down on the Germans, if not more. And we lost by 3 foot. And I knew from that moment, considering Jürgen's grand plan of your last World Cup before your Olympics is the one you'll lose. To lose to our biggest opposition by 3 feet in that event meant we were going to win it. From that moment, I knew we'd won. I knew we had the potential to win Rio.
Yeah.
We had a lot of work to do, but we had now everything in place to be able to do it. We knew what we needed to do, and it was always about just do what you do in training. It's real simple. If your training's amazing, just do that.
How hard was that race for you, the Rio final? Because I've heard from, I think it's Matt Gottrell, that he said that's one of the easiest races I've done.
It was, well, it was a, how was it? Physically, the first 1,000 meters was the most brutal, committed, sorry, no, not the first 1,000 meters. The first 10 strokes were the most brutal, committed, powerful strokes you could possibly muster for us, for me individually. You know, it felt like the 10, when you do 10 strokes, 10 power strokes in training, it was just like that. Absolutely everything, all in. There was nothing, no thought about the next 1,900 meters coming up. But then the next 10 strokes after that were then the next most brutal, powerful, butt-gusting strokes you could possibly imagine. And by the time we got to the next 20, we kind of felt like the boat was moving so well that you could continue that same amount of explosive effort. It just didn't take that much out of you. So we just kept doing it.
Yeah.
And then we got to the next, and we kind of, the rate was coming down to sort of the 30, 37s, 36s. I think we may have touched 35 for a bit. And that was our power. You know, our sort of our strength as a crew was delivering these huge strokes, but with the time and the speed on the shell just to run out. And then you get to the catch again, and then you just deliver this crushing, explosive power, but so well connected together, so in harmony as a crew, that it just, the boat just went away from you. And you know, it's like the moment, you know, you do like some heavy squats, and then you do a squat jump without the bar, and you just put your head through the ceiling. It kind of felt like that. You know, that freedom, that ability to move so explosively, but it not to cost any energy.
Yeah.
And we just kept doing that. And it's, you know, to say it didn't hurt, it's probably quite true. You know, I remember getting to 1,000 meters, a length upon the Germans, thinking, that's it. I enjoy this now. You know, how many moments do you get to enjoy an Olympic final like this? You know, London hurt all the way. I without a doubt crossed that line. I'd committed fully, you know, physically. You know, it was all in there. But there was, because we rode as a team so well together, it just didn't hurt.
Yeah.
It was, maybe it was the adrenaline, maybe it was something else, but it was a testament to how well we were rowing together. It was a testament to the team effort, how we healed as a crew together, how we committed to what we knew our strengths were, and we just delivered just our bread and butter. You know, it was just, this is what we do day in, day out. Like,
I'm going to ask you soon, you know, what your new project is that you're doing with London Youth Rowing. But just before that, because people like to know, PB on 5K and 2K.
What was my PB on the 5K? I remember something about 15:10. Did Cracknell get 15:11? And I think I may have got 15:9. Didn't quite break the 15 minutes like the great Mo Speedy. But back then in my day, that was a big score, you know, that was the British record, I think. And my 2K, I think I got that down to 546.
546.
Not too shabby. But yeah, my strength was, my probably biggest claim to fame was doing 18K in an hour. Oof. Which is
at 20.
Yeah. Well, 1920. It was just we were doing a 20K session of his, and for some reason, you know, it was when the days with Pete and in the pair, and I had energy and power those days, and I just thought, why not? So off I went, and it kind of felt good, and Jürgen didn't stop me, so managed to do a sort of back-to-back 9K half hour, which got off the ergo feeling pretty good. The only downside was I had another 2K to go because I got to 18K and I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh no, hang on. But no, it was good. It was there's some nice moments, even for a rowing machine.
Yeah. So Hodgie, tell us what you're doing with London Youth Rowing, this project that you're building now.
So this last 4 years I've been working with a company called Tideway. They've been building the Super Sewer in London, and they'll have a big impact on cleaning up the sewage that goes into the river each year. But my part of that was to help develop the an event that would celebrate the cleaning of that river, and that started off as Regatta London, and it's been put on the back burner for a bit until the river's clean now, and so my time has now sort of gone towards London Youth Rowing and a project they've been running called Race the Thames, and it worked for me really well because it was an opportunity to help innovate the sport at the grassroots level, to open the doors, because this sport is bloody fantastic. Rowing is an absolute, it's a powerful sport in what it brings to people, aside from what it gave me, but how it can change people's lives and give them purpose and confidence, give them a team, give them interaction and motivation into something that's just as simple as exercise, as rowing. And I found rowing because I wasn't very good at other sports. And for all the people out there who don't consider themselves athletes, who just haven't discovered the sport they're good at, it's sort of a really sad tale, because it does empower, it does a lot of benefits. So since retiring from rowing, my chief mission is to kind of create things for the sport that open it up to new people, new markets, people who aren't necessarily focused on doing, a 5-session-a-week training program, maybe not necessarily in fine wobbly boats, but trying to do something which will motivate people to get into the sport for another reason. And that's where the work with Race the Thames has gone. So we're producing a platform which is going to hopefully bring together people, the majority of which have never rowed before, but the platform works really well for existing crews who want to do something a bit fun, a bit different, and have an event to aim for in March. Sorry?
Rowing machines.
Well, yeah, so rowing machines, ideally, but actually you can do this on any machine you like. If you're in a team of people, say from work, and a few of you can get access to a machine either at home or at the gym or a local club, and someone else can do it on a bike or a ski erg or an arm bike or a whatever, anything with an output. And then you commit to a distance. So it's either 72K as a sort of our race platform, which is that's 9K each. We ran that last year at the Copper Box, and we had people doing sort of 500 meters, rolling off another 500. You rotate as a team. Or you can do the sort of River Thames, which is 346 kilometers.
Wow.
And the idea is that you commit as a team, you do it over a week, so from the 19th of March to the 26th of March. And the best bit about this event is the way you build a team. And my kind of chief guidance is, don't build a team of people who would be good for the team, like powerful. Think about actually who needs to be in a team right now. We're about to sort of really get into the guts of the winter, the usual winter blues, the January, February tough months, and especially with lockdown and COVID hanging over us. Now's a really important time to think about who needs to be in a team right now, who needs something physical to keep them active, a reason to get out and be part of something a bit bigger that they can be part of. So it's exactly that. This sport can offer so much. I mean, it can offer a nice team event like that, keep you motivated and training, and finish off with this great event where we're going to bring this community together. We'll have the LYR arena where we'll have all the map and where all the crews are going to. We're going to link up with Zoom ergs so people can do the training through the January, February, and then ideally finish off with doing this event, and we'll bring everyone together on Zoom and people can celebrate what's happening on the ground, because this sport Sorry?
How do people enter?
Yeah, of course, enter. So the best way is go onto the London Youth Rowing website and just search for Race the Thames. If you look on Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn, you search for either Race the Thames or London Youth Rowing, you'll see some reference to it somewhere. I'm certainly tweeting about it. There's loads of information on the web page. But yeah, it's there as a platform to enjoy, and all I can say is, get involved, because we can really show what this sport can really do.
Yeah, I don't know where the last hour's gone, Hodgie, but
sorry, mate, I told you I could talk.
Well, there's so much that we could have talked about. We haven't talked about, breaking the world's best time, that 4 in 2014. I think if people want to get more of you, I think you're coming up on the Broken Oars podcast. Is that right?
Yeah, I first heard those guys a few months ago, and I've been. They've had some really great, like yourself. I mean, it's fantastic to see this kind of wealth and community getting together on these various platforms, because this is what the sport's been missing. It's actually grassroots level conversation. It's not coming from British rowing or world rowing. It's coming from Crossy, or it's coming from the Broken Oars guys, or was it End of the Island, another great podcast. There's some really great stuff out there, and I've been on Broken Oars, and that's coming out, I think, next week, and they have a different slant, to your questions, and it's just lovely to speak to people about rowing in different ways, and it just is testament to actually the power of this sport and what we have to offer, because it's considerable. I think we just need to find ways to explore it and capitalize on it.
As ever, Hodgie, you've been a most amazing ambassador for the sport. It's been a real privilege to chat with you today. We'll end the live part of the broadcast now. So say goodbye, and everybody, thank you for being with us.
Take care, guys.